Alright guys, I'm Baz, welcome back to the channel. So today we're starting the episode at Glass and Dock. I'm the engineer and manager at Fox Group, here at Plantyre, and today we're at Glass and Dock just loading one of the ships that's going over to the Isle of Man. This ship has just got 2 Liugong machines put on it, a 14 tonner and a 16 tonner. The rest of it will be general cargo, so whatever the Isle of Man need. We've got 2 cranes here, a 45 tonner and an 80 tonner, and we've got all the surrounding buildings around us with all the cargo stored in it. On the other side of the quay we've got an Atlas clamp that's unloading AGMA at the moment, and again the surrounding buildings there will be stockpiled with all the AGMA, all the animal feed that come off the boats. We do loads of different things within this dock. We do bring stone in, take stone out kind of thing on ships. So yeah, it is a big concern, it is a big part of the Fox Group along with the railhead and lots of other things and the quarries. Right, so we just turned up at Jackson's, and one person I do want you to meet is Dan from Driven PR, Driven Talent. This is my manager.
How you doing?
And he's the guy that makes all this happen. So with Awesome Earthmovers here today, and a few other things that I've got going on in the background, without him it wouldn't be happening. So you tell him, Dan, what you do.
Yeah, so we work with creators like Barry. We work with Awesome Earthmovers as well. Bringing brands with talent, and letting you do all your fun content. And make a little bit of a living from it as well.
So he's an influencer manager and he's doing a good job for us so far. Well, cheers for that, Dan.
Thank you.
Right, so that's a bit of filming done here at Jackson's. So let's get back to the railhead and our yard. Right, so we just got back into our main yard. Awesome Earthmovers guys. So we're just going to have a quick look what lads are up to, and then we're going to have an interview with Foxy.
Okay, brilliant. So, what's your personal history with the group? When you start working for the company? And
I came into the business when from an early age. Spent half my time wagging school, which I shouldn't have done. My grandparents brought me up, so I started in the workshops, basically as a apprentice, gopher, making the teas, washing, greasing machines, helping the fitters. Then beyond that, started delivering diesel. Then when I passed my driving test, then ended up doing some repping, seeing customers knocking on doors, bringing the work in. Then ended up on the higher desk. I was early 20s at that point. Then my grandfather, who brought me up, who was still very much involved in the business at the time, he fell ill, and the 11th of June 2007 he passed away. And then at that point I was on my own with it. Made some catastrophic mistakes, really did, but got through them. So I never really knew any different. So from an early age it was always led out that I was going to be in this job, as it is, a family business and an old family business. I didn't really have a choice, and I wouldn't have wanted to have a choice either. I loved what we did when I was a kid. I love what we do most of the time now. And when he passed away in 2007, which is 17 years ago next year, it doesn't seem like 2 minutes ago. It was, it was a big learning curve.
Oh yeah. Alright, so it's a Monday morning, new week. So today boys, first of all, Cal, we've got a fuel tank that's coming over the weekend, and a mud guard come down, ripped a hole in it and ripped all the side rails off, Paul, yeah? Everything.
Full lot, all gone.
The full lot.
Yeah.
Right, so that's priority number 1. Yeah? You can crack on with that in a minute. Luke, what's this actually come off this? This is a jacking leg off a Sandvik machine.
Sandvik screener, an old dinosaur thing.
Some old dinosaur?
Yeah.
Right, well as you can see the rod is stuck within the leg. That leg's full of muck, so they wouldn't have been able to lift that ram up, or should I say lift the leg up, when they track the machine. And we've got a machine in the yard at the moment, that 516 trommel pole that we'll be inspecting later on today, has the same problem. And what we do, or should I say what I do when I have this problem, this has actually got a big section where you can blow it out with a power wash, but the other one hasn't. We cut a section of it out so we can get the power wash in and clean the leg out, yeah? So we've also got this clamp bucket in that I've noticed a little crack on. We come around this side, director. There's a little crack there. So I can't send that back to work till we've looked into that. That'll need welding and preheating and all sorts, you see right there. I actually did make this rotator a couple of years ago. Well, that's all working well. That will be going to glass and dock. The machine is already at glass and dock, but it's using a hook, so they're not pushed for the clamp bucket. Now then, this clamp bucket is designed for animal feed, which is what it's used for at glass and dock, but when we use it on the railhead, obviously we're unloading stone. And it's not the right bucket for unloading stone. Cal, you've got that to do. Jay, I need you to Bullens and pick me a jack up, yeah? What we've got, director, what we've got to do today, we've got a ZX135 that needs line boring, yeah? And instead of line boring it, I'm going to try this new pin. And it's called an expander pin. Right, as you can see these little collars here, see how they're tapered? Right, so that will go into like the eyes of the dipper, and that'll go into the boom, yeah? And as you pull them two bolts in, that kind of opens these up, open these collars up, if you will. You can see if they've got a taper on it. Yeah, so it expands them little slots. And that is instead of doing line boring. Right, so we're gonna, in fact, I reckon we'll do an episode just on that alone. Yeah? And that'll probably come out before this actual chapter. So check out here for this episode. Right, Carl, you crack on with that. Jay, you get over to Bullens, pick me a jack up. Luke, you want to set that out? Paul, you can start building that wagon up with the other bits, yeah? Right, let's go. Right, so this, Luke, I'd say, a bolt goes through there, yeah? Right, that's going to be well seized in there, that.
I'll be honest, I'm not even going to attempt getting it out. Cut it out.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get it out.
Well, either way, it needs a new ram, so we might be able to put a new rod in that ram, but probably not. I'd say it's locked within the cylinder anyway. You know what I mean? Let's have a look. Right. Yeah, we'll get that back in press. All right, if we just press it on each side, in the corner, that box section will just tweak back, yeah? But number one, get the ram out, get it over to Lee's, yeah? And see what... What? Did you? Right. Get that over to Lee's and see what crack is. Also, we've still got a problem with that 330 crusher. It had actually been down a full week now, that. So we did a load of checks, we did a load of electrical checks on it before we put that pressure switch on it, which was leading us back to that pressure switch. So now we're just going to have to go over it all again, so I'll try and get it on camera, that, so just for you viewers out there to see. Right, so these are the bits that have just landed for this truck that we just talked about then with the fuel tank. I'll just show you the truck. That's a bracket for the side rails, that. So the driver in cab, I don't know why drivers in at this time, when wagon's down. Right, can you see how this bracket's all snapped? Yeah, fuel tank is off. Drained into there. So Paul can build this back up now. Yeah, another chock under that body. and one shock under it. Right, so I think what's happened here is, you see this mud guard, something will have spun round and hit that, bent the mud guard out, right, and when the body comes back down, it's hit the bracket that holds this side, these cycling side rails on, yeah, and also hit the diesel tank at the same time, and then pierced a hole in the tank. And then luckily it's at the holes near the top, so no fuel has leaked out on the road. The wagon came straight back anyway, but where that oil's coming from. But yeah, we'll have this back up and running shortly, so we'll show you direct when it's back together. Oh, this is the 135 here that needs that pin. So boom to dipper, that pin at the top. There's a lot of play within the eyes on the boom, so I'm hoping that that expander pin will do a job just nicely on this, and if it does, I've got a lot more machines that need it, put it that way. It'll save on there. There's the chock, that needs to be under the body. It'll save money on the line boring, should we say. Never, ever, ever work under a body without them under it, ever. It only takes that tipping ram to blow and that body's down. Number one, priority. I suppose just bringing his van over to put this back together. Let's just have a word with driving. Alright bud, what actually happened, do you know?
As I was lowering the thing, I think it's caught, the arch is caught and pierced the...
What's caught the arch for it to catch it, do you know? So it's bent the mud guard, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Must have bent the mud guard and caught it, so something must have caught it wheel.
I've not seen anything.
You know what I mean? Right. Alright bud.
But it was uneven, so I didn't know at the time whether it was, you know, just gone down at a funny angle, if you understand what I mean. So
be about an hour, alright?
Yeah, no worries.
Right, Shag, do you want me to watch your back? Go on, you alright? Paul, when you've done this, you take buckets off that 135 there and just wash the pin off, boom to dipper pin at the top. Yeah. Then I want that tracking into the workshop. Right. I'm going to change that at dinner time-ish. Right, no, it has to be done now, this can't go out like that. Yeah. So, obviously they've welded it before, so it wants a flat bar from here now. Drilled, 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 drill. Yeah? Piece of flat bar that length.
Yeah.
See if we've got some alley flat bar, 50x6. Yeah? So it's dead easy to drill then, but it'll be a lot stronger than just welding it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, back it up to, back it into the shop if you can, or, oh, is your van there, Luke?
Yeah.
Just take a measurement and drill it, yeah? Cal's nice little bit of TIG welding there. Set this out to the truck. So whenever we get a breakdown on a truck, it always takes priority over everything else, yeah? And it happens every day. A lot of them are between 6 and 7 in the morning. That's why we start at 6. You ready, Paul? Hey. You need a lift way out?
Yeah, I'm alright.
You alright with that?
Got to change some bits over. We'll have to strip these straight in that bar. That bar's getting replaced anyway.
You need a lift or not?
I'm alright.
Right.
I'm good.
Alright, Tom. Right, pull that flat bar up now. You want another roll?
Yeah, go on.
Right, clamp it. How far up here? Enough. Yeah. So what we're doing here is just putting a flat bar behind inside the mudguard, yeah? So it's really, these should be dome-headed bolts, but we ain't got any, so these will do for now. Spanner up that loop. Hold it. Right? Yeah?
There you go.
Right. Got it bottom now there. One here. Right, that'll do. So what we've done is put a piece of 50x6 aluminium behind, flat bar, just bolted it to. When it's on its next inspection, we'll change these bolts for dome heads. Right. Alright lad, sound. You get going. You what? Oh yeah. You should have been watching it months ago. See you in a bit, lad. So that's my new Kempy X5P Fastme. So Cal's just going to finish this little bucket off that he started last week. Just a little 13-ton ditcher. He'll push that back down with jack now, you see. We'll have a big gap there then. So what we always do, we always put a piece of flat bar at the back side of the bucket. Really the flat bar wants to be on before we push it down, so that you can tack the back of the bucket to the flat bar, so it keeps it all nice and smooth. Is it loose that? No. No? So, we've got a leak on the jack.
The other one's got the bars stuck in them.
Is that not? Just put something wound a different thread in it. Put that in vice and try tightening it vice. That flat bar out of vice. One. Touch more. Right, are you just going to bridge that gap? Yeah. So Cal's going to bridge the gap, but if you can see, if it had the flat bar on, much easier to tack it to all three, you know what I mean? But because we've got the crane hooked up to the clamp, And the chains are full of grease. We might as well leave them on there till we finished messing about with that. What are you doing, lad?
Knee pads in.
Knee pads in? What are you kneeling down for?
I want to be a director one day, so knees most.
I noticed in a few comments here, because Luke went out on the road last week, Luke's after his job. There's only one welder-fabber, you know what I'm saying? But, are you on with, do you want to box this first?
Whatever.
Yeah, let's get this done and out of the way. Right, so prep that.
Yeah.
Prep that gap. Right. Gouge right into it.
Yeah.
Grinder, big V prepping it.
Yeah.
Right, preheat it.
Preheat and post-heat.
I'd use some dissimilar rods on it.
Yeah.
I'd say so, it's cast that, isn't it? Some kind of cast. So,
Yeah.
whilst you got your van there,
Yeah.
I've got some DS rods in my van, I'll go and get them. Just prep, get all that out, we'll weld it all up.
Yeah.
Post, won't need post heat, it's like cool. Alright. Right, so it's looking worse than I thought this. Right, so this bucket only came in for a couple of snap bolts, right, that we had to extract the threads and replace the bolts. But we've noticed a crack here. That is quite deep, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got a deep crack there and a crack here. So I want a full prep. Both of them. Take this pin out, these pipes out of the way, yeah. Full prep. And these rods, they're a Limasota 312, yeah. So that's a dissimilar rod, and I use these for when we're welding metals that we're not quite sure what's in them. So that is a cast steel, and I'm not quite sure what's in it, so we'll use these. And what we'll do, Luke, once this is welded up, tidied up neatly with buffer, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll just put a little bit of paint on that, a different colour. Because we'll have to inspect that pretty much after every shift.
Yeah.
I want to keep an eye on it, you know what I mean? Good job we spotted that. If that was to break, that's your safety pin. Right, if anything was to go wrong up here, that's your safety pin. But if that was to break underneath the safety pin, then it all relies on the rods in the rams. So if you can imagine that broke, the rods in the rams would shoot out and pull out the end of the cylinders. Catastrophe. So a good job we spotted it. Right, so it's hard to tell how far in it really goes, but I think you got to the back of it there, Luke.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Just that other side, maybe wants a bit more out and just see cracks just chasing out. I think I'll drill the end of them.
We'll take more out of this top here.
Yeah.
Right, and go more into it with the cutting disc.
Yeah.
It is quite thick, that, can you see?
Yeah.
It's quite thick. But it is worse than we originally thought. And it's a good job we saw it. You know what I mean? But, you know, we could do some dye temporary, couldn't we?
Really, yeah. Get it and I can drill it.
I'll just take more out of it. Get it going in with a smaller disc.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to take more out of it up here is because when you start the rod, you want the rod starting right at the back, not catching here. So you don't want like a little gap in between, if you will. So that needs to be a little bit bigger, that prep.
Yeah.
And we'll show you as we go along. Right, so that's the fuel tank back on, side rails back on, all buttoned up. All that we've got to do now is sort the side light out. The side light's not, there's no power to this wire, so we'll pass that over to the electricians in the truck fitting shop. Yeah, is he pulling it into the shop now?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Right, sound. That's that one boxed off for us. Are you pulling it in workshop, bud? Yeah, sound. That's 135 going for a wash before we bring it in workshop. Right, so I was thinking of welding this with a 312 dissimilar rod, yeah. I'm not convinced what that is. I think it's more cast iron than cast steel. Right, so if you listen to this, you see how it's a dud, yeah, to steel. Like pinging, and this is more of a thud. Not only that, it's very soft. You can file it dead easy, and it ground out really easy. So it's telling me it's more cast iron than cast steel. So I'm going to need a different rod for that, and I'm going to use. I'll probably use an ESAB, the OK9218, I think they are. I'll have to check when we get to Express, but. Yeah, if you was to weld that with a 312 now, which might be alright, put a lot of pre-heat into it, and then a 312 is a bit like a 7018. It's really strong. It's a really strong weld. And then what could happen if you weld it? It could crack right next to the weld once it cools. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for a cast iron rod, which is a softer, not as strong rod, but less risk of it cracking again. So let's head over to Express, Director. Right, so this is Express, a local supplier. Because we need something quick, we're here now. It's only 5 minutes from shop. We'll see Finbar's in. These are the screens that we use, Quantum Universals, really good. Let's go to his office. Right, so ESAB.
Yeah.
What we got here now?
It's
more of a nickel rod, are they?
This is a pure nickel.
Pure nickel.
Yeah. An ICI, which is a pure nickel rod designed for welding cast iron. You can actually go in cold with these, but I still recommend the preheat.
Where's the others?
What are you looking at? In
3.25s. Have we got any 9218s?
That's the one. That's it. Okay. So part number 921832.
Right.
Yeah. So they come in nice little backpacks. Open it. Sorry to interrupt. Hang on.
Oh, no, no. Right, so one of them.
Yeah.
I need a couple of rolls of wire. Oh, have you got any 6mm carbons?
6mm.
Yeah.
There
we go.
Yep, that's 6mm.
Yeah, there's some 6mm carbons. And give me 3 rolls of 1.2 baller diamond spark.
Yep.
You've got some in. I need some filters for Quantums as well. The main filter. So these are our fed masks that we use. I just need a couple of filters for the lads. So Finn, just for our viewers, just explain about these rods.
So the thing that you've got, we don't actually know whether it's cast iron or cast steel.
No.
It's very difficult. You ground it, you're getting short sparks off it.
Short sparks, yeah.
We've tapped it with the hammer. It sounds dull like cast iron.
Yeah, yeah.
not overly convinced it could be some sort of cast steel, but
Yeah.
just for safety, we're going to go in with this rod because it's a nice soft deposit on these.
So quite a bit of preheat.
Yeah, put a bit of preheat into, and then it saves the as it's contracting,
Just
you
one
get less forces.
Just 1 second. Has anyone got the new update on the iPhone? It's just gone off now. It does this all the time, Paul. Do 2 calls and I'll ring you back.
Yeah.
Anyway, forget that. Oh, anyway, back now.
So, what'll
Hello? Right.
you still filming?
That impact crusher ejections. What's up at Carlisle? Have you ever opened it up? Yeah. Right, I need you to go to Carlisle. Right. They've got a big lump of concrete or something stuck in it, and it needs it opening up. Lads on site don't know how to do it. Alright, now you might just be able to pull it out with some chains. I don't know, because I haven't seen it. I can't see any pictures. No one's got to send me any pictures, so I'll ping you an address over now. You get yourself up there and after brew. Alright. Alright, mate. See you, mate. Bye-bye. Right, go on, Finn.
Yeah, so basically the iron's very, very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong under compression, but not so strong under elongation. So we use the nickel rods because the deposit is relatively soft compared to the iron. So when you put all the forces into the iron by welding it with the heat, when it contracts, it allows it to give a little bit, so it doesn't. Makes it crack resistant. Effectively, the deposit. So
You said I didn't want to risk welding with them 312s and then it cracking next to the weld.
312 would possibly be too strong. It'd be great on cast steel.
Yeah.
Match the properties.
So 312
brilliantly,
is like a 7018 basically, and it's strong.
It's well, it's a stainless type deposit, but it's got a very high.
When you weld with a 312, it looks like you welded with a stainless rod.
Yeah, which is a great get out of jail rod for repairing lots of things. But in this case, I think it is actually iron.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. With the 312 rod, you're probably going to crack next to the
Second a bit of
weld.
post-it. Have you got some dye pen spray?
Yeah, I'll get you some dye pen as well.
Spray as well,
Yeah.
Right, so we're all sorted now. We've got our bowler, 1.2 diamond spot. We've got a couple of filters for the earth-fed mass on the quantum universals. We've got some 6013s and some 7018s there actually for my van them. And we've got the nickel rods that we're going to weld that little casting up with. Some 6mm carbons and a little freebie off Finbar for the director. So for all those people that are asking for the arc shots within the camera range, should we say, they'll now be able to put that in front of the camera, put the camera up to there and turn it up and down to whatever shade you like. So basically it's going to take a bit of fettling till you find the right shade director. It's not even switched on there. Alright. Right, Finn, that'll do for us, mate. See you soon. Right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to dye pen it, right, to see if the crack's still there. So how this process works, there's 3 tins, right? You've got a cleaner, you've got a penetrant, and you've got a developer, right? So basically you spray your cleaner on, that cleans the surface area, which has already been cleaned, and then you put your penetrant on, which is like a red spray, right? Now then you'll have to leave this on for about 10 minutes. We'll just leave that till it dries a bit, and then we'll put the developer on. Alright, what we'll have to do first though is clean that off, clean the red stuff off, right? And when we spray this on, the developer, if there's still a crack within the casting, it'll pull the white powder out basically, what the red out of it, should I say, do you know what I mean? And then we'll see if we've gone deep enough with the groove. Now then, them rods that we've got, them nickel rods, they don't need as much preheat, alright? So you don't need to get it as hot as you would normally with the cast steel, yeah? So just give that 10 minutes to dry off, and I'd say you've got in enough there, Luke, but... Yeah. we'll see where we're at, yeah.
Definitely.
So director, they've got this pin out of this ram here, and it ain't for coming out. They give it a good yank, so I've just told Jay to get an air chisel and break all this out inside here, see if we can free the end of this rod up, because it's seized on solid. I mean, that's probably never been off for 10 years, 10 plus years. So we just have 10 minutes there. Just want to see you that, aren't we? Really could do to get as much as that red off as possible. That's it. If we see a red line come through, let that go off a bit now. If we see a red line pull through there, we know there's still more of a crack. So we'll just leave that a few more minutes, director. So it needs some preheat now, yeah? Now look at that. What does that tell you? Gas has been left on all weekend and there's no octane bottle. Well, that drives me insane. So the trouble with gas bottles is, yeah, no matter who you ask, it was always switched off. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, when I was a wee nipper, which was between 18 and 30, I could do that with two bottles, no problem. I wouldn't recommend it, by the way. Just like to know I can still do it. Right, so let's see how these rods run. This is my daughter's helmet, yeah? A 9-year-old daughter who's learning to weld on the weekends, and I will do an episode on that soon. And you want to see her put a rundown, I'll tell you now. 9. How's it welding? Get a little grinder and grind it back each time, Luke, yeah? Let me just put one down before I go, because I've got to go out. Put one on that other side. We'll see how it's running. Let me have a look. So if anything, we want to try and go uphill. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we'll go from this side. Right, so that's alright, cool. So can you see how I've overrun it there? Yeah? So basically we want to start within the hole, come out of the hole and go past it. Every time. Come back this way, then work your way up, yeah? Fully build that up, then I want it grinding down, push, so it looks like we've not welded it. And then we're going to paint it in a different coloured paint so we can keep an eye on it. Alright. Director, we've got to go Jackson's. I'll leave you with that, alright? Right, so this rod is seized in solid here now, so we're just going to be a little bit rough here and see if we can yank it out. We've got it chained to a bollard, strapped at 40. Really, we should have a chain on that. Go on, yeah, just try it. Back up a bit. Give it a little pull. Go on. Back. Go on. That's the one. Right, so you can see how it's seasoned. A little bit rough that, Jay. Next time we use change, yeah, but it's done now anyway. Put that box section in the press. So if we look at this box, see how the box is bent like that? Yeah, so if we put it in the press and just touch it at each side, not in the middle, it'll just flatten it, just at each side, yeah? And then that'll just come back straight. We'll take that ram down to Lee's. Needs a new rod. Probably need a full new ram, that. Right, so we just come up to Jackson's. Look at this QA440. What's crack with it, Dave, lad?
Got a leaking hydraulic tank. It's been leaking on and off. Had a few issues with it over the last 12 months. We managed to keep patching it up, but it's just beyond repair now.
Is it?
The problem we've had is, and the reason we've been patching rather than just getting a new tank on, is it's actually part of the chassis. Is the tank, so it's not just an unbolt and move on. It's
not a quick fix then?
No, it's back to the workshop, make a tank, I would think anyway, see what you think, but that's where I'm at. Luke's had a look at it last week. He seems to think it's you lads make us a new tank and then fit it on site in situ.
So it's in a bad spot?
It's in a bad spot, it is down. And there it is, and that's chassis there.
Alright, so well in the chassis then?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep. You can see why we've been putting off the inevitable.
Right, let me have a nosy under there. Alright, Alright. How much oil will you says in there, Dave?
There's not so much at the moment.
So what's this?
15 gallon left in it.
What's this silicone or something on it?
Yeah, that's what Luke put on last week. A magic fix.
Alright. Well, it's leaking lower down, isn't it?
Yeah, you should be able to see where Ryan and the previous fixer tried welding it up and what have you.
Well, I'd say, Dave, if you can get that off, get it off, track it off from this position here now.
Yeah.
Like you said before.
Taking it over there.
Bit of a bench.
Get yourself something to
so it's at a working height here.
Yeah.
We can cut that plate out as well the new one in.
That's where I was at. I was hoping that'd be making a tank.
Yeah. So we only need a plate.
Yeah, and this is one of our main products as well. I've got customers waiting for it, so what's under the belt is what we have.
Is it?
Until this is fixed.
Right, so you want it, is it a soon as job?
It is, yeah. We can, so I'll get a start, get you a pit to work in here.
Yeah.
And then see where you're at, give you a shout when it's ready to do.
Right, I'll get tape out at man. I'll just get a measurement on that. So I'll just need the width of the chassis. It's a bit of a strange one, that, Dave, isn't it? Because it's like...
Yeah, it's, I'm even debating, I've got a hydraulic tank that we took off the hopper when we changed the wash plant and upgraded, and I've still got a standalone tank now, whether to stand that next to it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Does it ever move from here?
No, this is where it's been.
Never moves from here?
It's been in here since lockdown, when I moved it up here.
That is the other option, repipe it into another tank.
Yeah. But it needs to come off this bench and be cleaned up anyway, and reset, so...
It's just strange how all the pipes...
Come and get a look at it.
How all the pipes run through there, and same at the other side. Right at the other side, you can see that pipe there. They run right through here, can you see? It's a little bit of a strange setup. Oh no, it's because it's within it, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. we could plate it, Dave, and then put a plate over the top of it.
Yeah.
Going back to that cross member.
Proper belt and braces job.
Yeah. 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 It's not as big a job as I thought, to be fair.
So,
It's not as big a job as I thought.
you just need a pit to work in.
Yeah, just need a pit to work in.
Probably easier to
Is
do
it-
that than it is to do the standalone tank and get all the pipe work right, isn't it?
Yeah. Just cut that out.
Yeah.
There's no drain plug on it, is there?
Got a natural one at the moment.
We'll just drill an hole in it,
Yeah.
bump into the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, I'm just going to tape out it now and measure that up. When do you think you'll have that on the platform?
Right this afternoon.
Will you?
Yeah, I'll do it this
Oh,
afternoon.
there, run on there. Yeah, we're busy. Right, we'll get someone
there.
there.
Work on tomorrow, because if you can't do it, Luke might be free or something.
Well, I have a diesel Bowser, the little diesel Bowser that I built in 2015. We've got to, our diesel Bowser, we're going to take the back off and put it onto a new chassis cab. So and that's coming into the workshop tomorrow. Yeah, Director, I'll take a few measurements and we'll get that done this week anyway. Alright, just so the viewers know, I don't actually know what's underneath all this silicon. Right, so what my plan is to cut it down here, cut that plate down there, all the way along that weld, same at the other side and back up this side, and I'll sit a plate with inside the tank, if you will, only about 8 to 10 mil up, and then I might put another one over the top. So I'm thinking of double skinning it. Let's just see what it's like when we get this actual plate off. So I will send Luke out, since he's put all this on, to get all that off. And he can do all the prep. Now I've got my sizes, so I just need a plate like 340 by 1200. Get 2 plates out here, and then we'll box it when it's in a position where we can actually get to it nice and easy. Sound. Cheers, Dave. Right, back from Jackson's. Let's see where the lads are up to with clamp. This is the one that we're going to put the pin in. We'll do that today. Still a bit of a bend in that. Still a bit of a bend in that. Did it well alright that, Luke? Yeah. That looks alright. So we'll just put that down for nightly inspections for a couple of weeks. Just to keep an eye on, see if we get any more cracks. Because we did replace a couple of these bolts. A couple of bolts were snapped in as well. And it wasn't shown on camera. So it's a little bit concerning. I did actually make this myself. Probably a year or two back now. Put a rotate onto this clamp. Boys on the dinner. So, to the Node lock expander pin. Now then, this is going to be an interesting one, because we do have a lot of machines in the fleet that do need line boring. If you just look to this side here now, Director, so there's a little lip there, and there's a lot of play in this. Right, in fact, Director, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to make this into an episode, a standalone episode, yeah? So if you guys are watching this on a Saturday, this will already have been filmed. So let's stop it there, Director, and we'll turn this into an episode. So Cal's finished this bucket now. Little 13-ton ditch. Nice welds. Got a few tacks to put on the nuts for the bolts before it goes out the door. So this is quite a straightforward little job. We'll do some more buckets. Flat bar on the bottom there. Just as a little wear strip. We'll get that out. Next one in. Right, you two need to go round to Swap House. I think it's a ZX135 with all the handrail damaged. I don't know what's broke or whatever. If it needs any fittings, any key clamps or that, let me know. But it's trying to open the auxiliary belt on the 1700 screen here. It's come out at the pivot at the bottom. Do you know how they're going or not? Right, get a sling around the end of the conveyor, lift the conveyor and put it back into its pivot point, open it up. Right, someone's going to look at it. It's for sale. Alright, give us a ring, let me know if you need any key clamps. Right, director, I think you better get yourself home. We've got an alley trailer coming in that needs a couple of carrying half lap boards fitting and a little bit of a back corner that's been ripped off. So, stuff for you today. I'll see you in a day or two. Morning. -3 this morning. Right, so here we got a little DAF LF220 that we actually built in 2015. So this is our fuel bowser, and it's got like a little compressor built in, separate air tank, AdBlue pump, fuel, AdBlue air, all designed by us. In fact, it was me and my boss at the time, Ian Coulton, that built this, and he's still my boss now because he's the director here. But yeah, so basically all this is built on a sub chassis, so the whole thing should lift off in one hit, apart from the crane at the back. So the crane at the back and the under are separate brackets. But I mounted the crane first. So director, put a few pictures within the screen now that I've sent you from we built this in 2015, yeah? And it's lasted well. So my thoughts are to basically reuse it on a new chassis cab which we've got outside. But there are a few different things. So the chassis cab outside's got a different air intake on it. The fuel tank's in a different spot. I have built an AdBlue tank in the back end of the chassis underneath here. Put a picture on the screen of that now, director. But we'll try and get this off today. The only thing I'm concerned about is the wiring, because I didn't do the wiring, so I'll get one of our sparks in to just check all the wiring out before we start cutting wires here, there and everywhere. But this is a busy truck. It's done 600k, I think it's just done now, 600,000 kilometres. But it's been a good bus. So we might as well take this off, get it blasted and reuse it. Although I did put a Thompson sticker on it, but we built it. Right, Cal, we'll start taking it apart, yeah? Yes. You and Paul today, Luke's on a few other jobs. Well, in fact, Luke will jump on this way as well. We'll start by unbolting the whole of the sub chassis. Take the side rails off, take the rear mud guards off. And piece by piece, take it apart. Right, so I'm just trying to jog my memory really, so I'm looking back through photos here. That's the AdBlue tank that I built within the chassis under the back end. Did take a bit. That was the one before we built this one. There's my old boss, or should I say boss still, Ian Coulton. Look at him there. 8 years ago, wow, seems like yesterday. Anyway, so this is the fuel tank, fuel shut off, fuel pump. We've got the air tank there, so we'll just switch that fuel line off. We can disconnect the reels then from the chassis, because the reels are actually bolted to the chassis, not the sub chassis. All this should come off in one hit. You know what I mean? So if you look in this picture here, it shows it there. Look, that's the whole thing there that'll come off in one hit. Up to back. So yeah, it shouldn't be too bad really. It's only just hope the PTO and everything will mount in the same spot, and like I say, we'll have to move the fuel tank and a few little bits and bats, but I don't think it'll be that bad. We'll have this on. Yeah, so as you can see, the reels are actually bolted to the main chassis itself. We'll just have to disconnect a few hoses. We'll only have to snip a couple of wires, feed into this. And then what we'll do, we'll get the two chassis cabs next to each other in the yard, and then we'll look at all the variations. What's in a different position. Like I say, that fuel tank will have to move down slightly. So yeah, I think the best move is get it off. Get the two chassis cabs next to each other. So the crane, if any of you are wondering why we've got a crane on a fuel bowser, it's because it does a bit of both. It carries a bit of plant about, like breakers and stuff, and also carries 6 tyres around with him every day, so does a bit of a tyre rig as well, should we say, whilst he's out there on the road fueling machines up. Let's take a look at what Luke's doing. Right, so we've got a roll on, roll off skip. This bracket just broke off, so Luke's just welded that bracket back on this side. That is the locking bar for the tip on the tailgate. When you tip, it's the barn doors and the tip and the tailgate, this in one hit. So at the moment everything's loose on it, so we're just trying to stiffen it up a bit. We need it so that's nice. You see, it's been sat like that for a while. You see that muck there? Well, it's frozen this morning. It was. Yeah. That door wants to be right back there. And then we'll tighten the lock up, you see. Because the lock will have been down. You see how much away these are. Now then, this lock bar is fully up here, can you see? Yeah. Now they should be pushing against that now. Pushing against it. Look at the gap there. So that's been running loose, that. But we're just going to tighten all this back end up before it goes back out. Hello? Right, director, we've got to go out. These men are just going to take this out and lower the AdBlue tank at the back. That's a stainless steel AdBlue tank we made. But he's going to drop out the back end so they can get to some bolts that are holding the sub chassis to the main chassis. Now then, Luke's got this back door all buttoned up now. So they need the forklift to get to that tank. You're right with that, Paul, aren't you? Yeah. In 2 hours, yeah?
You out there?
Right, so as you can see, that is now all nice and tight. That wants to be tight. This lock bar. And it's got 2 lock bars, so the bottom lock bar wants to also be tight. And nicely sealed. That's the main bit, so it's flush against the body, yeah. Hello? Right, so as we're just about to leave the yard, I've just had a call to stop, put the brakes on doing this job. So now that it's half stripped, I don't know what the new plan is, but the Fox has come up with a plan, so we'll I'll just have to wait for him to come in and see me in a bit, yeah, see what the new plan is. But as of this moment, that job has been stopped, so the lads will get crack on with some buckets whilst we go out direct. They're two 20 ton digging buckets that need new bottoms. One of them needs a new toe plate and adapters. Alright, so whilst we've been pulled off that job, we'll also do an inspection on this 516. So this is a McCloskey trommel. It's got a 7mm mesh in the drum. So we'll lift the cover off, give it all a good wash, make sure everything's running smoothly so that can go back out on hire if an hire comes in for it. But we've got a little 105 round here, just scalping a bit of topsoil. So it's a little bit cold really for getting fine topsoil, yeah, but if you look at this, we've got a 16mm mesh in this. So when it's actually down on the ground, it is actually good soil, that, really good soil. Smoking. Right, let's go, director. Alright, so we just got to a site in Longridge. You can see this big steel gantry here. And then this is like a household waste centre where anybody and everybody comes to empty the rubbish. And you can see galvanised one here, how far back it is. So it's been pushed back and into this barrier here. So it needs to go back that way about 2 metres. So I'm not exactly sure how they've managed to do it, but one of the hook wagons will have been taking a skip off, and something will have got hold of one of the hinges will have got hold of the handrail and pushed the whole thing back. Do you know what I mean? But makes me wonder how could you not notice that? Do you know what I mean? That's a big lump to move in it. So what I'm going to do, can you see the gap underneath the bottom here? That gap, when it goes that way, it's a bit cockeyed at the minute. If you look at it, you see how it's a bit twisted, the whole thing. I'm hoping if we pull it back that way to the position where it should be, it should sit back on its feet nicely, nice and level. But so I'm just going to have to close the site. I'm going to have to get the van out, hook the van up to it, put some chains on back end of the van and pull it. So we are at a local household waste depot here in Longridge, Preston, and an old gentleman just come up to us then and goes, "Where's the director?" "Oh, what about me? Huh? There's the director. I didn't want to see me, he wanted to see director." Bloody hell. You get a little bit famous, director. Oh, hook up with some chains. I'm hoping this will just pull right, but it might not. Do you know what I mean? It might be a bit of a disaster, but you never know. Hook up. It seems to have gone back fairly easy, so I'm hoping it'll come back this way fairly easy. You know what I'm saying? hooked up there, yeah. You keep an eye on it and shout me if it's going to one side or anything, let me know. Yeah. Right, we're watching. So that pulled back nice and easy for us then. So whilst we're up in the Preston area, we're going to call in at Jackson's Quarry and check on that hydraulic tank that I looked at the other day. You know, Luke's cut all the bottom out and welded a new bottom in, so we'll just see if it is actually sealed. Right, so let's check this hydraulic tank out that Luke did on this Sandvik QA440. If you remember, it was leaking here and it had a load of silicone here. I do believe it's been run for an hour so that to let the oil get warm. So So Luke has actually double skinned it. He's put another plate with inside behind this plate, welded to the original chassis, and then one over the top of it. But Luke, if you're watching, you should have put another couple of passes in there, lad. Could have filled that right up a weld. Because looking at that, 100% on that. Well, anyway, you live and learn. You live and learn. If it leaks, they'll be coming back and grinding it out and doing it again. Well, it might be alright. Might just be something that's dropped down from top, come off the top of here. But there is a bit of, has been a bit of oil in there. But anyway, we'll let them run it for a day and check it again. Nice day for it anyway. Go. Right, so this is a 20-ton dig. That's an HP 500 edge. So if you look at the adapter here at this end, if you was to just mark around that now and cut that bit out, and then that adapter would just slide on there nicely, wouldn't it? Yeah. But with this particular bucket, because there's cracks in this banana bar here, this little banana bar, what I want to do, we'll put a new piece in from there down here like this. Like that. We'll go right up there with it. A new section, yeah, get rid of all this. Alright, but anyway, director, I think you've got enough for this chapter, and if we want one out this Saturday, you better get yourself home and get anything, lad, yeah? So please like, subscribe and share, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.